Hey everyone, I'm Jason, and this is your commentary on Numbers chapter 3. In the last chapter, we talked about the camp of the Israelites and how each family was set in a different position around the tent of meeting. Today we're going to discuss the camping of the Levites and how they were positioned around the tent of meeting as well. The Levites are the descendants of Levi, one of the sons of Jacob. Here is the story of the family line of Aaron and Moses. It belongs to the time when the Lord spoke to Moses at Mount Sinai. Aaron's oldest son was Nadab. Aaron's other sons were Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Those were the names of Aaron's sons. They were the anointed priests. They were given authority to serve the Lord as priests. But Nadab and Abihu made an offering to the Lord by using fire that wasn't allowed. So they died in front of him. That happened in the desert of Sinai. They didn't have any sons. Only Eleazar and Ithamar served as priests while their father Aaron was living. The Lord spoke to Moses. He said, "Bring the men of the tribe of Levi to Aaron the priest. They will help him. They must work at the tent of meeting for Aaron and for the whole community. They must do what needs to be done at the holy tent. They must take care of everything connected with the tent of meeting. When they do, they are acting for all the Israelites. Give the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They are the men of Israel who must be given completely to him. Appoint Aaron and his sons to serve as priests. Anyone else who approaches the sacred tent must be put to death." The Lord also said to Moses, "I have taken the Levites from among the Israelites. I have taken them in place of the son born first to each woman in Israel. The Levites belong to me. That's because every male born first to a mother is mine. In Egypt, I struck down all the males born first. I did it when I set apart for myself every male born first to a mother in Israel. That is true for men and animals alike. They belong to me. I am the Lord." So God is setting apart the firstborn of all the tribes of Israel, of all the families of Israel, and instead of taking the actual son, firstborn, he's using the Levites as a replacement for them. So that way all the Levites are taking the place of the firstborn of the Israelites. The Lord spoke to Moses in the desert of Sinai. He said, "Count the Levites by their family groups. Count every male a month old or more." So Moses counted them. He did just as the word of the Lord had commanded him. The sons of Levi were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The major families from Gershon were Libni and Shimei. The major families from Kohath were Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The major families from Merari were Mali and Mushi. These were the major families of the Levites. The families of Libni and Shimei belonged to the family of Gershon. All the males a month old or more were counted. There were 7,500 of them. The families of Gershon had to camp on the west side. They had to camp behind the holy tent. The leader of the families of Gershon were Eliasaph, the son of Lael. Here are the duties of the families of Gershon at the tent of meeting. They were responsible for taking care of the holy tent and its coverings. They took care of the curtain at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and they took care of the curtain at the entrance to the courtyard. The courtyard was all around the holy tent and altar. The families of Gershon also took care of the ropes. In fact, they had to take care of everything connected with the use of all those things. We see the families of Gershon taking care of the curtains and the ropes. The tent of meeting actually had three main components to it. You had the covering, the curtains, the ropes. You had the posts that were going up, and you had all the altars and utensils that were being used, the tables and everything. And so you have three different sections or segments to moving the tent of meeting. So the last one to arrive would put the curtains on. It would be Gershon. But they would also be the first ones to disassemble the tent of meeting. The families of Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel belonged to the family of Kohath. All the males a month old or more were counted. There were 8,600 of them. The families of Kohath were responsible for taking care of the sacred tent. They had to camp on the south side of the holy tent. The leader of the families of Kohath were Elizaphan, the son of Uzziel. They were responsible for taking care of the Ark of the Covenant Law. They took care of the table for the holy bread. They took care of the lampstand and the 2 altars. They took care of the things used for serving in the sacred tent. They also took care of the inner curtain. In fact, they had to take care of everything connected with the use of all those things. The chief leader of the Levites was Eleazar. He was the son of Aaron the priest. Eleazar was appointed over those responsible for taking care of the sacred tent. The families of Mali and Mushi belonged to the family of Merari. All the males a month old or more were counted. There were 6,200 of them. The leader of the families of Merari were Zeriel, the son of Abihail. The families of Merari had to camp on the north side of the holy tent. They were responsible for taking care of the frames of the tent. They took care of its crossbars, posts, and bases. They took care of all the supplies. In fact, they had to take care of everything connected with the use of all those things. They also took care of the posts of the courtyard around the holy tent, and they took care of the bases, tent stakes, and ropes. So we see the 3 families around the tent of meeting. On the west side, you have those who had the curtains that would actually cover the tent of meeting. On the north side, those who would set up the bases and the posts in order to put the curtains on them. And then the one on the south side was responsible for the furnishing, the altar, the tables, everything like that. Moses, Aaron, and Aaron's sons had to camp to the east side of the holy tent. They had to camp toward the sunrise in front of the tent of meeting. They were responsible for taking care of the sacred tent. They had to do it for the Israelites. Anyone else who approached the tent would be put to death. The total number of the Levite males was 22,000. They were counted family by family. Every male a month old or more was counted. Moses and Aaron counted them, just as the Lord had commanded. The Lord said to Moses, "Count all the Israelite males born first in their families. Count all those a month old or more. Make a list of their names. Take the Levites for me in their place, and take the livestock of the Levites in place of all the male animals in Israel born first to their mothers. I am the Lord." So Moses counted all the oldest sons in Israel. He did just as the Lord had commanded him. There were 22,273 of those sons a month old or more. They were listed by name. The Lord also said to Moses, "Take the Levites in place of all the males born first in Israel. Also take the livestock of the Levites in place of the livestock of Israel. The Levites belong to me. I am the Lord. But there are 273 more males born first in Israel than there are male Levites. Collect 2 ounces of silver for each one of them. Weigh it out according to the standard weights used in the sacred tent. Give the silver to Aaron and his sons. It will buy the freedom of the additional sons in Israel." So Moses collected the silver from the additional sons in Israel to buy their freedom. The Levites took the place of all the others. Moses collected 35 pounds of silver. It was weighed out according to the weights used in the sacred tent. Moses collected it from the oldest sons in Israel. He gave the silver to Aaron and his sons. He did just as the Lord had commanded him. So here we see that the tent of meeting is surrounded on 4 sides by the Levites. On 3 sides you have the different families. One is responsible for the posts and the bases. Another is responsible for the coverings, the curtains, and the ropes. And the third one is responsible for the furnishings, like the Ark of the Covenant, the altars, and the tables. On the east side you have Moses and Aaron and his family. And he's there because that is the entrance into the tent of meeting. It's the way that people would approach God. It was through Moses and Aaron's side. And that's why it was so important that they are on the east side. That's it for our commentary on Numbers chapter 3. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.